Okay, so welcome. Today I explain a little bit how to the process of the natural dyes that my family use. Then can I make these beautiful colors, and after weaving a beautiful pieces of rugs. So in this family, like a Casa Cruz, we work just with vegetables, flowers, seeds, and the most interesting is about of this little bag to this, like the famous cochinilla. So cochinilla, they are a little bag to live in the cactus, and they have a really slow process to produce. There is a little bag with a functional parasite, so they eat the carminic acid of the cactus, and now they make like a color. We use some flowers, some fruits, some pigments. In example, we use like the marigold flower, then can produce some of the light yellow colors. We use too like the cheragam flower, then grow here in Mexico. It's popular to use to drink teas, to drink in mezcal. It's really good for digestion, and we can give us all of these dark or deep yellows. So if we like to take more colors, we have the options to mix. An example, to make the green colors, when we mix the yellows colors from marigold and cheragam with the blues from indigo. So indigo is this one, then is one of the really interesting pigment, a dry pigment, then is from bush. These have a really long process because they are from big bushes to grow in the isthmus of Tehuantepec. So the people to produce, they cut all of the fresh leaves, and after they squish it and they have a fermenting process with water and another plants to help to make like a coagulate process and something like a cheese. They separate the liquid and the pigment, and now they put it in the sun to dry, and now they are something like this. So now we need to buy some kilos from this pigment. We grind it in the metate, like an prespanning machine that we use. And now the pigment, we have a formula to dissolve the indigo in the water, and now we can make all of the blues. Light, medium, dark, and deep, different colors, like a different shades of green. When we mix the yellow colors in the indigo vat, we can take now like a different shades of green. So now the browns, these colors, they are possible when we use the pecans, we use the shells of pecans, we use the fruit pecans, and behind you the big tree with the green leaves, this is the pecan tree. So we can use the fresh leaves, we can use dry leaves, the shells, or some of the fruit. They can give me all of the browns, depending on what part you use in a specific process, then it's in the boiling. So the basic is something like this. We have this type of green, when it's possible when use the pomegranate. And this is a color to mix with achote, then it's anato, something like this. Then it's famous to use from cochinita pibil in Mexico. Yeah. We use this one, but in the seeds, some of the people, they use in paste to cook some Mexican food. So this is the basic, but now the really interesting is about like this little bag, then it's like cochinilla. Cochinilla, they are a little bag to live in the cactus. So they are alive now, all of these ones. They don't move. They stay in a specific area to eat the juice of the cactus, like carminic acid that they have. So now they make a reaction with the body, and now they transform the juice in a color. So now, after 3 months to grow here, now we're recollecting, or the people to produce, they're recollecting, and now they put it in the sun to dry it, now to preserve the pigment. So you can feel these are some dry bags. Wow. But now, if we grind in something like this in the metate, something like this, we take like this pigment, then it's carmine red color. But to discover if this is true, I can take some of the cochinillas in an example, so you can help me. So I take one for you, and in my case, I take another one. So now with your finger, squish it and move around. Oh, wow. Move around, don't worry. Wow. So now, this is some of the color that is possible to take. But if you see, the color is a little bit same, yeah, but here is uniform. And you have a reaction because the cochinilla, they play with reactions, depending on the who interview with the color. If now I use some of water, this is just water, and now use baking soda, mix, they have a reaction. And if I use now a little bit of calcium, see the reaction now, a little bit more, and a little bit more. Now, mix. The colors start to change. This is too slow now because you have a reaction, then it's slow. But now it's better. So now Cochinilla, she's considered the queen of the natural dyes because she can give me some different colors, dark, medium, and light, depending of the different minerals or something that we can use to make the reaction with the natural dyes. So this just is a show. The real process that we use a big bath with water with hot boiling process. Yeah. So the natural dyes, they have the guarantee you can wash and you can put in the sun. So in this house, we try to continue to rescue this technique out of the natural dyes because in this village, some of the people, they work with synthetic colors. They can show you and say to you, okay, I use natural dyes, but then is the truth, the people prefer the faster things because it's fast and cheap. Yes, the natural dyes is too expensive, but you have a really big guarantee. You can enjoy the pieces with the natural colors from all of your life, and it's good for all of the work, so it's natural. Mm-hmm. So now this is a little explanation of the process that we use. So when we have now the colors, now we can use to weave in a beautiful pieces of rugs in the looms. So now this is the area of the weaving process. So we need to use the pedal looms to weave in these beautiful pieces of rugs. So each weavers, they need to use our hands, we need to use the mind, we need to use like the foot. The foot is to open and close the base of the rug, then is the warps. We need to use like the hands to weave in the thing with the mind. So it's not necessary to draw anything. We have the design in the mind. So we inspire all of these beautiful designs in the Zapotec symbols that we have in different areas, like in rings or something in the church, or something areas than in the Zapotec past live. So we can work every day, 6 days a week, 10 hours a day around, maybe more. And the pieces they can weave in 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 months. So they are depending of how tight is each pieces that we produce. So now you can see the process. He know where he can put each part of the color because the pieces they are geometric. So in the geometric, they know how many lines he can take for each color, and now they produce the design.
So you need to count every
yes,
time, right?
and the count that we need is in the mind and with the eyes just. Because if we count all of the threads by one, maybe finish the piece in 1 year. Yeah. So it's really necessary to know how many lines we have for all of the rug, and now start in the mind, choose the numbers that we use to make the proportion of the colors and weaving the pieces.
How many machines like that do you have?
Okay, we work like in a family. So we are around like 20 weavers. So each weaver have one loom. So it's around like 20 looms, different sizes. To weaving the small ones, the big ones, and the biggest ones. So they are depend. In the rugs, we can work old, women, like men, all family. Just the sizes is depend who weaving is depend of your force. Yeah. So yes, so small ones they weaving by women, and the men they can weave in the biggest ones. So, but
why is it harder?
Because, in example, if the women work with the biggest, in the future they can have problems with a baby or something, because the force when we pull, all of this is compact.
When you pull that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, my family here in Casa Cruz, we have more than 6 generations to work with this process to produce beautiful pieces of rocks. We have 3 generations to work with the original natural dyes, but it's 6 generations to work with this process. This village, Teotitlán del Valle, have more than 2,000 years to produce textiles, not the pieces of rocks, because the pieces of rocks they produce when the conquerors come to Mexico. So they introduce the pedal looms and they introduce like the walls. But now, in the past, the Zapotec people, we work just with the backstrap loom and use just vegetable fibers like wild cotton and pita, jute, and another fibers from agave. So when the conquerors come, they introduce these fibers, the pedal looms, so we only have an evolution because we know the technique of weaving process. Now we only transform now the textiles to a beautiful pieces of rocks. Yes, in example, to weaving something like these pieces, in this size, in example, then is the size are 1.60 meters by 260 meters. The weavers, they can weaving the piece around like 6 days a week, 10 hours a day or 14 hours a day, and around like 2, 3, 4, or 5 months. Depend how intricate is the pieces that we produce. Yes, an example here is how we start with the pieces of rocks, because the first is necessary produce the warps. In the warps, we need to make knots one by one to start to make the base of the rock. So this is the first that we can do before weaving a piece of rock. This one take around like 1 day or 2 days, depending on the size of the loom and the piece that we need weaving. So when they are ready, now we roll in this part that I have in this area, the roll, and after, now we prepare to make a tension, and now they can choose the colors, choose the design, and start to decide what design they can weave in the loom. To decide the quality of the rock is depend on how many lines we have per inch or centimeters in the warps. So more lines, they are more tight. So less lines, the commercial pieces, in example, they only use 8, 10, or 12 lines per inch. So this one, they are around like 16 to 64 lines per inch.
Okay, so we have been at Casa Cruz now for a little while. We ended up buying a little rug, but I've always dreamed of coming and seeing the fabrics hanging up like this, all the different colours, and he explained the natural dye process as well. But what I love is that you can really see the difference in the tones. You can tell it's natural, it's not chemicals, it's, you know, they're all different and they're such beautiful tones. I mean, that is stunning. This is just, I just honestly had the best time ever. Make sure you come to Casa Cruz if you ever come to Teotitlán del Valle in Oaxaca, Mexico. The guy is great as well. He showed us his dyeing process. He showed us his gallery full of lots of different rugs. We couldn't film in there, unfortunately. I understand though, because it's his business and he has really unique designs. But honestly, we've just had the best time ever here. We kind of feel like we don't need to go anywhere else because we've kind of learned everything here. We've got the demonstration, we've bought a rug, we've seen the weaving. It's honestly been amazing. We will obviously walk around and see other places as well, but this is a must visit. I'll leave the website down below. I'll leave the information down below. Yeah, I'm so happy.